Manson Meekins of Avon recalls the days when mail came to Avon by boat. Mr. Meekins was interviewed by Amy Glass in 1988 for the Southern Oral History program. The Outer Banks Community Foundation provided funds to digitize the original recording.
The Harbor Road, as you come through Avon and circle the harbor, there was no Harbor Road there because that was a swamp. And the creek in the middle of that swamp ran from the Pamlico Sound right on up through the village, separating Dog Ridge from Cat Ridge, right on out to the edge of the what we call it, the hills then, which was the east edge of the inhabited village. And you can see the swamp still there today, but there was no road running around the harbor. There was a footpath with a bridge that you went from Dog Ridge to Cat Ridge and back, but there was no road for a horse. Now, occasionally a horse would go down by the sound, a horse and cart, and the horse driver would maybe ride the horse into the sound and around the creek. But that's the way passage was made. But basically, the roads are in the same approximate position as they are today. They were just widened, some oak trees removed, and the hard surface put down. Looking over to my left towards the south, there's a road there just this side of those two buildings. It runs right on down to the westward, right on down to those buildings over there, and you would come to the post office, the old post office. And near the post office was the postmaster's residence. That was my wife's grandfather, Mr. Charlie Williams. The post office, you wonder why the post office was down by the close to the sound. That's because all of our mail was brought in by mailboat. There was a mailboat or mailboats that ran from Hatteras to Matteo. And one of the old mailboat operators was named Mr. Bristow, somebody. I don't know what his last name was, Bristow, from Wanchese or Matteo. He ran the boat. And the boat, I imagine, was about maybe 26 or 28, 30 feet long, with a long cabin all the way back where passengers and freight were kept. All passengers, most of the passengers those days, went by mail boat from Hatteras to Matteo, from Avon to Matteo. And the what we call drummers, the salesmen that used to come down from the different companies would come by mailboat and stop at the different villages, visit the stores, and sell their wares, take orders. And of course, the freight boats I mentioned earlier would bring the orders back by freight boat. I mean, the large orders. But and the freight boat, we didn't have a wharf or a dock here at Avon. The freight boat would come out about maybe 200 yards offshore and stop, and an old man with what we call a shoving skiff, a skiff propelled by a pole or an oar, would push out, board the mail boat while she's still drifting a little bit, and unload passengers and freight and mail and bring it ashore. And he had an old horse named Charlie and an old cart. And if the tide was low, he would just take his old horse and wade out in the water and back the cart up to the skiff and unload passengers and freight and bring the mail and stuff up to the post office. And that went on for many years.